Well, a very good afternoon to you. This is your lunchtime news bulletin coming to you live here on MTV Sports. With news first, I'm Shah Jarangpati. Well, here's a look at your headlines. Notice issued on MP Arundhika Fernando to appear before the Homagama magistrate and testify regarding the disappearance of Pragit Eknaligoda. Indian Premier Manmohan Singh says that he is concerned at reports on Colombo's move to dilute the 13th Amendment. US President Barack Obama in Germany for talks with Chancellor Angela Merkel. Now for those stories in detail, Human Rights Watchdog Human Rights Watch states that a new media code proposed by the Sri Lankan government contains overboard and vague language that could have a severe and chilling effect on free speech.
Asia Director of Human Rights Watch, Brad Adams, points out that the government's proposed media code of ethics is part of a sustained campaign to control the media and curtail dissent. Adams reiterates that Sri Lankan journalists are already under enormous pressure not to be critical of the government, and the vagueness of this code will likely lead to greater self-censorship to avoid government retaliation. Human Rights Watch states that government-enforced codes of conduct on the media are unnecessary and invariably infringes upon the right to free expression as established under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights.
The Homagama magistrate ordered United People's Freedom Alliance parliamentarian Arundhika Fernando to appear before courts on the 16th of next month to give evidence on the disappearance of journalist Pragit Eknaligoda.
The Homagama magistrate ordered United People's Freedom Alliance parliamentarian Arundhika Fernando to appear before court on the 16th of next month to give evidence on the disappearance of journalist Pragit Eknaligoda. The order was made by the magistrate after taking into consideration a motion filed by missing journalist Pragit Eknaligoda's wife, Sandhya Eknaligoda, through her lawyer, attorney-at-law Upul Kumara Peruma. The motion requested court to issue notice on parliamentarian Arundhika Fernando to give evidence before court on the recent statement he made on News First, telecast on Sirasa TV, that he met journalist Pragit Eknaligoda during the parliamentarian's visit to France. Attorney-at-law Kumara Peruma informed court that parliamentarian Arundhika Fernando had made this remark at a time evidence was being heard in the Homagama Magistrate Court on the missing journalist. Hence, he requested court on behalf of his client to issue notice on MP Fernando to appear before court to give evidence. Here, appearing on behalf of the government, Attorney-at-Law Chamida Atukorala said that he is not against the request to make parliamentarian Arundhika Fernando a witness and added that this should, however, not violate Arundhika Fernando's parliamentary privileges. Responding, Attorney-at-Law Kumara Peruma said that the parliamentarian had expressed a similar sentiment on News First, telecast on Sirasa TV, and added that there are no legal limitations to make parliamentarian Fernando to give evidence before court. Accordingly, notice was issued on parliamentarian Fernando to appear before court on the 16th of next month.
In the meantime, the Ministry of Health says that around 500 dengue patients are being recorded every week from around the island. Director of the Epidemiology Unit at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Paba Paliwadna, said that 50% of the patients are recorded from the Western Province. She added that surveys on Lawe have revealed that 50% of the dengue breeding grounds were maintained in public places such as universities and schools. While noting that measures should be taken by the public to eradicate dengue breeding grounds, the director also urged the public to exercise caution since the possibility of dengue spreading rapidly is high due to the prevalent weather. The Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau says that steps have been taken to implement a new regulation for Sri Lankan workers who will be recruited for jobs overseas with effect from the 15th of July. Deputy Director of the Bureau, Mangala Randenia, said that according to this new regulation, employees recruited overseas will have to submit a detailed report of the family background and children, if any, through officials attached to the provincial secretariats, and added that the report should be certified by provincial secretary. He added that this rule, which is mandatory, has been implemented in order to ensure the safety conditions of the children of the employee who travels abroad for employment. In more local news, the Department of Examination says that results of the recorrected answer scripts of the 2012 GCE Advanced Level Examination has been released online. Students can access these results by logging on to www.donets.lk. Now, once again, the website is www.donets.lk. On to more local news, a fire has broken out inside a building at the Ampara Police headquarters. The police say that the fire had broken out in a building storing scrap metal and other debris. Now the police added that the Air Force and police are working together to bring the blaze under control. Now teachers from the DS Senanayake Vidyalaya in Anuradhapura engaged in a demonstration opposite the school premises this morning. The demonstration was carried out against a recent incident where a teacher at a school was made to kneel in the presence of students by a provincial councillor.
We are requesting the government not to allow teachers to be assaulted in this manner and not allow such foolish politicians to enter schools.
We can imagine the state of education in this country when teachers who guide the nation's children are made to kneel and be punished in such a manner. A Fast Onto Death campaign commenced by UPFA member of the Mahayangane Pradesh Sabha, Venerable Vataraka Vijitha Thera, has concluded. Now, Venerable Vataraka Vijitha Thera, following the conclusion of the fast, said that he had taken a decision to resign from his post as a local government representative.
Venerable Vataraka Vijitha Thera commenced a Fast Unto Death campaign on the 17th of this month to compel authorities to expeditiously provide solutions to issues faced by farmers. However, our correspondent said that despite the demonstration, no official had focused attention towards the issue. Venerable Vataraka Vijitha Thera subsequently ended his fast following a request made by the chief incumbent of the Mahayangane Rajamaha Vihara, Venerable Urulavatte Dhammarakita Thera. Thereafter, Venerable Vataraka Vijitha Thera was admitted to the Mahayangane Base Hospital. Venerable Vataraka Vijitha Thera shared his views with the media.
Mahayangane kanna tuna kumburu anasuna. Minissu jeevat wenne hari dukken.
3 harvesting seasons were wasted in the Mahayangane area. People are living in misery. Furthermore, they also have to face the threat of wild elephants. A man was killed by a wild elephant on the day following Vesak Poya Day. Fences are not erected and estimates have not been made. They lie to the people every day. They lied yesterday saying that a fence will be erected soon. Therefore, in this backdrop, I took a decision to resign from my post at the Mahayangane Pradesh Sabha and not to engage in politics from here on.
Meanwhile, residents of the Kohwila Kadura area engaged in a demonstration yesterday against the dumping of garbage in the Badulla town. However, waste was disposed in the area despite the protest of area residents.
Lastly, local news. Farmers were gravely affected in the recent past. Now, this was due to flooding and droughts that were experienced. Now, they have been once again faced with yet another problem when fertilizer for crops were not given on time.
A number of farmlands were destroyed by drought. The tireless efforts made by farmers to salvage their cultivations were once again washed away by floods. Farmers who were affected by the floods and drought for the past 2 seasons are now faced with yet another problem. However, this time their woes are not due to the wrath of Mother Nature. Farmers who have not received fertilizer stocks at the required time point out that although they have obtained water for the cultivations, the lack of fertilizer has caused their crops to take on a yellowish hue. When news first made inquiries about the matter from the National Fertilizer Secretariat yesterday, it is said that fertilizer stocks could not be supplied to farmers as there was a delay in a shipment of new stocks. The Secretariat further said that a shipment of 17,000 metric tons of Ripple superphosphate is due to arrive in the island by next week. The farmers charge that if fertilizer is not distributed, they will have to lose all hopes of cultivating.
The Ministry of Rehabilitation and Prison Reform says that the Bogambara prison in Kandy will be handed over to the government by the end of December this year. Secretary to the Ministry G.S. Vithanage said that the inmates will be transferred to the Pallekele and Busa prisons. He added that around 400 inmates in the remand prison have already been transferred to the Pallekele prison. Now, GS Vitanage went on to note that the move comes following a decision taken by the government to remove prisons from cities. Well, another phase of the series of News First media workshops conducted to improve knowledge in media and communications among school children was held recently at the Sir John Kotalawala Navodaya School in Kurunegala. Now, this is incidentally the 96th News First media workshop. The News First teams received a warm welcome this morning by the students of the Sir John Kotalawala Navodaya School. Through a variety of activities, students were equipped with the practical knowledge and skills of news reporting and anchoring. Students were also given the opportunity to showcase their talents at the workshop. We're also making headlines this afternoon. Indian Premier Manmohan Singh says that he is concerned at reports on Colombo's move to dilute the 13th Amendment.
According to The Hindu, at an interactive session with a delegation of the Tamil National Alliance, Indian Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh is reported to have told the delegates that the reports of the Sri Lankan government reneging on its commitment to India on a political package for resolution of the concerns of the Tamil community in the island are disturbing. The report, quoting a spokesperson of the External Affairs Ministry of India, said that at the meeting it was noted that the proposed changes raised doubts about the commitment made by the Sri Lankan government to India and the international community, including the United Nations, on a political settlement in Sri Lanka that would go beyond the 13th Amendment. The report also noted that the changes would also be incompatible with the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission set up by the government of Sri Lanka, calling for a political settlement based on the devolution of powers to the provinces. The Indian Premier stressed on the expectations that the Sri Lankan Tamil community would lead a life of dignity as equal citizens and reiterated that India would make every effort to ensure the achievement of a future for the community marked by equality, justice and self-respect.
Well, finally, Minister of Water Supply and Drainage Board Dinesh Gunawardena says that the ministry incurs a loss of 51% from the Colombo city limits. The minister cited several factors such as the failure of the consumers to pay their bills and the inability to measure the amount of water that is being stagnated as reasons for the loss incurred by the ministry. Now, he added that the ministry had to obtain loans from the Asian Development Bank for renovation that were laid out for several pipelines in several areas within the Colombo city limits. Well, starting our sports with cricket news, England captain Alistair Cook confirmed that bowler Graham Swann is a doubt for the semi-final of the ICC Champions Trophy at a news conference yesterday as his team trained ahead of the match against South Africa at the Oval in London. Captain Alistair Cook said he wouldn't be risked if there were any doubts over his fitness. There was no indication of whether Swann would definitely be fit for the Ashes series, but he did take part in some training with his right leg strapped.
Yeah, we haven't trained today. He obviously trained this afternoon. It's clearly a concern for us. We haven't ruled him out totally yet for this game. We're going to have to see how he trains today. And see how he pulls up tomorrow. I mean, there's one thing for certain: he won't be risked. There is no point in doing that for the fact that we've got Treaders is an exceptional bowler as well. So we're very lucky in that department. So caution. We might be very cautious with him because it seems very sensible.
The semi-final of the ICC Champions Trophy takes place today at the Oval, London, in England. And that's our lunchtime news bulletin. As always, it was a pleasure having you with us. For News First, I'm Shanjurang Pati. Goodbye and take care.